Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Warhammer 40,000 with Zebu Nation, and we're back today. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but I'm going to get back in the swing of things, start getting back on the Warhammer train. I've been off a little bit, just doing, a little bit of painting here and there, and not much else. But now we're going to get back into some things, and first off, I want to get back into kill teams, so I've got some upgrades for a couple of my kill teams who basically right now aren't able to take part in any of my commanders games because they don't really have a commander. So we need to upgrade some of these teams and get them fully functional. So the first one we have here is the FIREBLADE TWINFLAME for my Tau. It's not a hugely exciting model because these FIREBLADEs you can get them separately, and you might even have a few of these in your army. But I wanted to get the kill team one, the commanders, so that it came with all the rules and everything like that. So let's open it up and see what we get. Obviously, it's just a commander, so we know what we're going to get. We're going to get cards, and we're going to get sprues. What else would we possibly get? So here we go. Here is the sprue. It seems like a slightly different sprue. I mean, it's basically the same commander guy. I don't know, it just seems slightly different. It's a different weight of plastic. I don't know if you can tell that. Maybe a slightly different base as well. He's still got the rifle. He's still got the FIREBLADE. I mean, for the most part, looks like a pretty simple to put together model. But yeah, there's just something, it just feels different than the regular one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll put him back, and then we'll focus on the cards that you get right here. This is, of course, the important part. Take a look. All right. So you get your FIREBLADE. He's got the typical stats: 3-up weapon skill, 2-up ballistic skill, which is very important for using marker lights. He does have a marker light, so he comes with one of those. And of course, he has his pulse rifle, photon grenade for the greater good. He has the ability volley fire. So units within 6 inches of the FIREBLADE may fire an extra shot with pulse pistols, carbines, rifles when shooting a target within half the weapon's range. So there's been some strange rulings on this, or at least some strange interpretations of this rule, that some people are thinking that they just give every Tau infantry an extra shot, no matter what. But it's my understanding, and I think most people's understanding, is you have to be within half range to get that extra shot, and they spell it out more clearly here. In the other rules, like for the main 40K, they just say if you're within volley fire distance, which is half range. But they don't specifically say half range in the normal rules, but they do here, so maybe they'll make that change going forward. We shall see. Now, of course, you get your tokens, get your Tau tokens. That's always good. You get an extra model. You're going to need extra tokens. That's fine. Now, let's see what cards we get. There is your guy. He is a Vjorla Sept. That's interesting. Shaznel Vjorla Atsumo, the TWINFLAME. 3 flesh wounds. Yeah. So that's cool. You get your commander's card. Everything is spelled out right there. Commander's ability: Art of Vashiva. Art of Vashiva. Sure. Friendly models within 6 inches, unless shaken, that use their for the greater good ability hit on 5s instead of 6s. So that's cool. That gives them the Tau ability, the Tau Sept ability, even if you don't have Tau Sept, which this guy is Vjorla Sept. Disciplined defense at level 2. Your opponent must re-roll hits of 6 made for attacks on that target. Made for attacks that target this model in the fight phase. Interesting. I've never seen a defensive reroll before, ever. Your opponent must reroll hit rolls of 6. That's crazy. That's like game changing, but only against this model. So it's not horrific, but it's interesting. Level 3, experienced medic. That's odd. Roll a d6 each time a friendly model within 3 inches loses a wound. As long as this model is not shaken. On a 6, that wound is not lost. Interesting. So, feel no pain, basically. Then at level 4 is only 63 points for this guy. So that's pretty cheap. When a roll is made to determine whether or not the mission ends, if this model is on the battlefield and not shaken, you can choose for the player that made the roll to re-roll it. Okay, so if you don't want the mission to end, or if you do want the mission to end, you can choose to re-roll that. That's pretty cool. So there's a little background on the TWINFLAME right there. Then you got some interesting new abilities. Tau Empire Tactic. Use this tactic when a commander from your kill team is taken out of action. You immediately gain D3 command points. This tactic costs no command points, and you do not trigger any abilities that allow you to gain command points. Interesting. So you can sort of build up a little bank of command points, because when your commander is taken off the battlefield, usually that sort of limits your ability to generate new command points. So this sort of gives you 3 command points to put in the bank and spend while he is down. Cadre FIREBLADE Tactic. As long as this model is not shaken, all friendly models within 6 inch can use this model's leadership. That's 1 command point. As long as this model is not shaken, you can re-roll any advance or charge rolls. That's 1 command point. As long as this model is not shaken, roll a d6 each time a friendly model within 6 inches loses a wound. On a 6, that model is not lost, so it's the Sense of Stone. So you can do that for a command point. If your kill team includes an ethereal, okay. So that's new. I guess you can include your ethereals in your commanders. I guess I didn't look at that too closely. Ethereal aura tactic. So they've got all the ethereal tactics here. That's Storm of Fire. Another ethereal. Weird that these all came with the FIREBLADE, right? Like, why would all these ethereal tactics? Here's a FIREBLADE tactic. As long as the model is not shaken, friendly models within 6 inches may fire an extra shot when shooting at half range. So, again, you can spend a command point for that ability that he can have at level 3. So you can either take this guy at level 1 and spend a bunch of command points to do his stuff, or you can take him at level 4 and do it for free, I guess. Interesting rule set. So that is that guy. Now we get to the big box here. Theta 7 Aquisitus. Adeptus Mechanicus kill team. My Adeptus Mechanicus kill team is probably the farthest behind of any of my kill teams, just because I don't have a Mechanicus army, so I don't have anybody to back these guys up or to add models to their kill teams. So I gotta do that with a bigger box set like this. Take a look at the Aquisitus. Comes with a Tech Priest. Comes with some, what are these guys? I'm not too familiar with the Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm pretty sure these are their melee guys, right? Yeah, it comes with 5 Sicarian Rust Stalkers, or you can set them up as infiltrators. So the Rust Stalkers are like the all melee guys, and the infiltrators have shooting as well, and then it also comes with some terrain. So that's interesting. Let's see what these guys are all about. Open this up real quick. See if I got better at this without ripping the boxes. Almost there. All right, we didn't rip the box. Hooray. Let's see what we have here. Of course, we have all of the papers and everything. Divider, keep everything from getting punctured by the sprues. So here's the terrain. Pretty much what you would expect. This is kind of the Wild West terrain, so that's good. It's the same type of terrain that came with the gunslinger guy. So that's cool. That'll have a little match set there, and we can have some bigger games with those guys. Adeptus Mechanicus versus the Gene Stealer Cult. So there is our Tech Priest. He's got a lot going on. I think he's actually 2 sprues. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't see any legs going on here. Not that they always have legs. I mean, he could be floating on a hover drone, but yeah, here's like his arm, his staff. Yeah, so he's 2 sprues. Got 2 different faces. Yeah, sure. I don't know. That's, like I said, I'm not real familiar with the Mechanicus. See if we can get those to focus in there. But yeah, there's the Tech Priest. Get him out of there. We got our bases, of course, the big base. And then we've got our troops. So yeah, it looks like you've got the gun options there. You got their backpacks. Or you can go with these sort of auto pistols and swords. I thought they also had the taser goads. Yeah, here are the taser goads down here. And other sword options look like a 3rd sword option. It's almost like a little samurai sword up top here. So they got a lot of options here. Also some sort of grappling gun or something. Or are those their arms? Huh. Mechanicus is weird, man. Very weird. They've also got knives. Man, they got all kinds of options. Different heads. They've got like robot-looking heads right here. Yeah, I am very, very unfamiliar with Mechanicus. What sort of heads do we have over here? Do we have any extra? Looks like they're going to have those weird robot heads. I'm going to have to read up on these guys and see what they're all about. So let's check out the books up next. Rust Stalkers, huh? Are they like more robot than man? There's Theta 7. So let's look at these guys. So yeah, these guys have 2 swords. Or you got guys with pistols. Interesting. Got a pistol, sword, pistol, taser goad guy with claws. You know, you got a lot of options here. See if we can get some of these guys on top here. You can see up here a guy with the pistol and the taser goad, with the pistol and the sword. Interesting. Gonna have to read up on these guys and see what they're all about. Here is the Tech Priest. 3-up weapon and ballistic skills, 4 strength, 4 toughness, 4 wounds. So he's pretty tough there. 3 attacks, 8 leadership. He's got a Magna Rail Lance, heavy 1. Wow. 7 strength, -3 AP, D3 damage. When the bearer makes a shooting attack, in the shooting phase, increase that attack damage characteristics to 3 if they remain stationary. So if they stand in one place, their damage is 3. If they move, their damage is D3. That's interesting. He also has a transonic cannon, assault D6, -1 AP, 2 damage. Omniscient staff, +2 strength and melee, 2 damage. He's also got mechadendrites. Each time the bearer fights, they may make D6 additional attacks. Wow, so he gets 3 attacks with his staff, and then another D6 attack with his mechadendrites. I mean, they're just like a regular melee attack. Strength user, 0 AP, and 1 damage. But still, that could be up to 6 extra attacks. That's crazy. So you can use the Magna Rail or the Transonic Cannon. Okay, you can't use both. It's not like a Tech Marine that has like a bunch of weapons on his backpack. He's got to choose one or the other. Blessed Bionics, he's got a 5-up invulnerable save. 102 points for this guy at level 1, so he's a bit more expensive. You know, the FIREBLADE was 63 points at level 4. So this guy can bring a lot of stuff. Let's take a look at his cards and see what he can bring to the battle. Let's see, where are we at here? I guess it would be these cards here. Open them up. Yeah, there he is. Alright, so are those focusing? Those are focusing. At level 1, 102 points, he gets the Sentient Scopes, reroll of 1s for this model in the shooting phase. So he's a little bit more selfish, where the Fireblade was all about leading his guys. This guy is more about himself. System Cleanse on a d6 at the start of the battle round. If this model is shaken on a 5-up, this model is no longer shaken. Binaric Wrath, or Binaric Wrath, at level 3. Add 1 to the attack characteristics of this model in the fight phase if it charged in the previous movement phase. Okay. Or level 4, Data Surge. At the start of each battle round, pick a canticle of the Omnissiah not currently in effect. That canticle is also considered to be in effect, but only applies to this model. So again, this guy is a very selfish guy, but if you want to add another really powerful model to your kill team, this guy seems pretty good. And then we got a bunch of new cards. Defensive Interfacing. Use this tactic at the start of the battle. You can reroll 1 for attacks by models on your kill team that are within 3 inches of a Ryza pattern ruin when they fire Overwatch. Okay, so if they're that's interesting. If they're in 3 inches of one of these, so basically usually they'd be using these for cover, and they're in they got to use Overwatch, they get to reroll their 1s. Interesting. Auto Repair Protocol. Use this tactic at the beginning of the battle round. If your kill team includes a commander that's not shaken, they recover 1 wound lost earlier in the battle. They recover. Who recovers 1 wound? Just the commander? Or everybody? I don't know. That's an oddly written rule. But we got a lot of these. We can't go through all these. Look at all these extra cards. So again, this is another reason why you pick up these box sets, because you get extra cards that can make your kill teams that much more useful. You know, my Mechanicus kill team is one of my kill teams that doesn't have a set of their own unique cards, and so this will help them out greatly. There's the Tech Priest Manipus Specialism. Okay, so this is their commander special. Alright, it's just different wording. They call it the Tech Priest Specialism as opposed to just the Commander Specialism. Okay, I get it. I understand. We got, of course, some new tokens. We got our cards, you know, so we can have some more Mechanicus cards. Not that I necessarily need them, but you know, we'll use them anyway. Then we have some new missions for this Ryza pattern terrain. Attacker. So we got some new strategies, some new deployment zones, some new missions, annihilation protocols. What's the victory condition? Score 3 victory points for each enemy commander or leader taken out of action by an attack or psychic power made by a model from their kill team. 1 victory point for each other model taken out of action. So this one is just, I guess that's why it's called Annihilation Protocols. You got to kill everybody. Data wipe. Each player scores 2 victory points for destroying the cache furthest from their deployment zone. Take a look at that. So you can see the deployment zones in the corners if you're playing a 4-player match. And then the data caches at the cardinal direction. So you gotta, you know, destroy those different data caches. That's cool. Binary targets. If one player has control of both objectives at the end of 2 consecutive battle rounds, that player wins. So the objectives, looks like there's only 2 objectives. Maybe one in the middle. No, it looks like there's just 2 objectives, and you got to control them both. And if you hold them for 2 turns, you win. Interesting. Revive the Shrine. At the end of the battle round, 2 energy vessels are located wholly within the defender's deployment zone. The attacker wins the mission. Otherwise, the defender wins the mission. So you got 2 energy vessels that you're trying to get into the deployment zone. I guess they're basically bombs. Trying to bomb the deployment zone. Interesting. There's the Annihilation Protocols. So it's an interesting box set. Get your instructions on how to build everything. So the Rust, let's see what they say you should build. So you got your 2 squads here. You can build them either as infiltrators. Yeah, so they've got pistols and swords or taser goads. Looks like the sergeant or the leader, the alpha. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Looks like the alpha has the taser goad and everybody else has swords and pistols. Or you can build them as the Rust Stalkers, where you got claws and blades. And then the sergeant has, it's like 2 blades and maybe a mechadendrite. No, it looks like he's got mechadendrites holding a blade, and then he's got claws. That's crazy. Huh. See what the profiles are for those guys. This video is probably going on a little long, but there we go. There's the Rust Stalkers versus the Infiltrators. Rust Stalkers, let's see, 3-up weapon skills, and what's AC and AB? What is that? Do they even? Oh, that's Italiano. That's what that is. Let's read English. How about that? There's French. We got every language under the sun. There's English. Okay, so we got the Infiltrators, 3-up weapon skill, 3-up ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness. Only 3 toughness for these guys, so that's not great. 2 wounds, that's better. 2 attacks for the Infiltrators, 3 attacks for the Princeps. So they can get a Flechette Blaster or a Stub Carbine. With a Flechette Blaster is a pistol 5. 5 attacks at 3 strength. That's crazy. Or the Stub Carbine is 3 attacks at 4 strength. Power Sword, -3 AP. That's good. Or a Taser Goad is +2 strength. And each roll of a 6+ causes 3 hits rather than 1. So the Taser Goad is pretty interesting. And then see if we can get the Rust Stalkers on screen. There we go. Same profile for, you know, weapon skill and all that. 3-up, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 2 wounds, 3 attacks. So 1 extra attack. Other than that, they're the same. Cord Claw. Strength user AP 0, damage D3. Cord Claw can be used to make an attack each time this model fights. Each time you break a wound roll of 6+, target suffers D3 mortal wounds instead of the normal damage. So that's crazy. You can do some mortal wound output. Then you get the Transonic Blades. Each time you get a 6+, you suffer a mortal wound instead of 1 damage. Or the Transonic Razor. Each time you make a wound roll of 6 with this weapon, the target suffers a mortal wound. Interesting. So you got a lot of different melee attacks that do mortal wounds. That's crazy for this game. I mean, I don't know that mortal wounds make a huge difference compared to regular wounds. I'll have to play it and see what the difference really is. Because it's not like a lot of models usually have invulnerability saves or anything like that. But I guess when you get into commanders and maybe later on you get into elites games, you might need those wounds. Anyway, there you go. There is our new kill team. I think all we got left are like, yeah, just the tokens and stuff. So yeah, Theta 7 Aquisitus kill team, pretty cool. I like these. It gives a definite different dimension to my Mechanicus kill team, which right now is 90% shooting. I think we got a couple of alphas in there who have got melee weapons, but this could give them a whole new melee squad to go along with a pretty powerful tech priest. So I like that for sure. And then, you know, the Fireblade is always a welcome addition to any Tau kill team. So there we go. There's our new additions. Going to get back to playing some 40K pretty soon here. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.